Alright, here we are with an update. 1 week update on Earl and Pomegranate. And as you can probably see, we've made some changes here to the cage situation. I'm going to go over each one, but I'll tell you, I've learned a lot about these two. Number one, they are so sweet and loving. They love attention, don't you? They get jealous of each other getting attention, and they are not afraid to be touched at all. I've had some rabbits that just don't really like being touched. I even picked up Earl a little bit today. He didn't seem to mind it too much. So one problem was that they were not using the litter box very well. Well, it's still a little bit of hit or miss, but we changed to a big litter box. This is actually like a small cat-size litter box, and that seems to work a lot better. I'm also scooping it every day. You know, just going in with the shovel and just scooping the top layer off. And I also found that they started peeing in this corner over here. So one good rule of thumb with bunnies is if you want to train them to use a litter box, put the litter box where they're already peeing. So you get another litter box right there, same size, same litter box. Just happen to have it because I also have an excess of cats. All right. Another thing was that they ate so much hay. I was feeding them hay 2 or 3 times a day, but I didn't have much to put the hay in. I was putting some in this box over here. I had one of the other small litter boxes. I was putting it in there, and that worked just fine for smaller bunnies. But for these guys, it was a problem, and it was a problem because with the box, they would just pull it all out and fling it everywhere and make a huge mess. With the litter box, they would sit in it, and as we already know about Earl, if he can sit someplace, he's going to poop. He's probably pooping right now. I just emptied this. So what I did was I went to the hardware store. Actually, I was having all these ideas about, all right, so we got to give him something that he can eat, they can both eat out of while he's sitting someplace that that he's allowed to poop. And I've seen people put a couple litter boxes side by side, or just put a litter box up next to something, and I felt like that just wasn't going to work for both these guys. Also, the quantity needed was huge, so I started looking at these elaborate I was looking at these elaborate feeding systems, hay troughs and feeders and stuff, and I've inherited from my grandfather a gene for German over-engineering. And so whenever I come up with a plan, I always step back and say, look, am I making this too complicated? And I always talk about bunnies being like tiny goats, you know, in that they have almost the same diet as goats or horses or cows or sheep or any kind of animals like that eat mostly grass. And I was doing some research, and I found, you know, there are people that take goats to shows, and they need a portable way to feed them, and they use 5-gallon buckets like this. And I thought, hey, this is perfect because I'm only filling it once. Every time you fill it, you risk dropping hay. And hay, if you've ever dealt with hay before, you know, whenever you handle it, it gets everywhere. So you fill it up once, which is great. I actually have a garbage can outside now full of hay that I just got from the farm store. Hello. And I could just fill this up. So I've made some holes, 3-inch holes with a hole saw, and then this is just a boot tray from the same store. I got a bucket and a boot tray 15 bucks. And we have, I think is going to work. As you know, they're spilling a little bit, but it's hard for them to just tear out all the hay through those little holes. And then I already just did this once. Picked up this tray and just dumped the poop right into another bucket. So that's easy cleaning. I think we might actually be able to do this. This isn't too tough. So we scoop the boxes daily as needed, and we scoop and we fill the hay as needed, and maybe even sweep up. I did not sweep up the cage today, and there's really not much in the way of a mess. Of course, we'll probably have to clean it tomorrow. So there you go. How do you handle two hungry bunnies, one of which is Earl.